Let's turn back now to the destruction in Vanuatu, and we know that it's recently hit the island nation. It's left a trail of devastation, ripping roofs off homes, flooding streets, and we're going to have more on that shortly. The Category 5 cyclone is now headed towards New Zealand. It's expected to weaken as it heads south. Now, Bill Weir travelled to the Pacific Paradise for his show called The Wonder List on CNN, and he joins us now from New York. Bill, you were recently there, and I also had the privilege of travelling there for some aid work, and it's a very beautiful country, and many of the buildings, as we know, are thatched huts on concrete slabs. They're not built for cyclones, are they?
No, Lynda, that's really what drew us to this place. We wanted to feature sort of a Hawaii 100 years ago and talk to folks who are wrestling whether or not to join the modern world, to embrace tourism as a way to a better life. But as you can see, these are some of my photographs. This is the Yakel village on the island of Tanna in the south of Vanuatu, where these beautiful kids, that is their bedroom, that thatched, sided, thatched grass roof, hut, tree hut, basically. And I cannot fathom, I've been in a couple of hurricanes. I can't fathom trying to survive Category 5 winds in a place like that. And then the aftermath, of course, we're talking no power, no refrigeration, medicine in the crudest form. Some of these islands have maybe one car that runs or an airstrip that can take a very small plane. But just in terms of assessment, search and rescue, getting relief packages in there, it's like going back in time a few centuries.
It really is. And the people, of course, are very happy, very peaceful, and they enjoy what is known as island time. Everyone seems to go at their own pace. Can you describe them for us?
They're some of the most lovely, open-hearted, gracious, hospitable folks I've ever met. Even those who sort of shun modernity and are content, they've seen the hard way of life, but are content to live in the forest like they would 1,000 years ago. We're so gracious. They give a welcoming dance. Some of them are trying to switch from farming to tourism. These folks at this little bungalow, guy had spent his life savings to pour the first cement floor on his island. And then a tourism consultant from Australia came and said, you know what, you need to cover that with sand because Westerners hate to see cement. So that's the sort of the level of development we're talking about. And, but they, of course, have survived on these island chains for a long time. They're hardy folks. And I'm sure this will be a story they'll be telling for a long time. As when I was there, they talked about the cyclone, I think, of 1938, which changed entire communities. You got to feel that that's the case for these good folks now.
Yeah, they think that this cyclone may be the worst to have hit the country. The damage, as we've already seen, is very extensive. We already know, obviously, several people have been killed, and the death toll is likely to rise. You must be feeling for the people you met recently.
I can't tell you, this was one, it's a double-edged sword getting to do a show like The Wonder List where I have the luxury of spending 8-10 days with subjects and really getting to know them and walk in their shoes and live like they do. And this was by far my favorite shoot of the 8 places we went around the world. So yeah, for Prime Minister Joe Natuman, Bob up in Motalava, Chief Magaw in the Yakel village, these are our friends now. And I don't know when we'll be able to get in touch with them to see if they're okay.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your time today, Bill. Thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully we'll talk to you again later today.
Thanks, Lynda.